with a really awesome concept for a podcast today
Mm-hmm.
called rewriting. I had a name for it too. Rewriting science fiction, where you take, the host knows what story that your guests or your co-hosts are going to rewrite. But they don't know. So you give them a synopsis
Mm-hmm.
of the story and they kind of rewrite it. And it turns out to be like a blockbuster movie or a really famous sci-fi or fantasy story. Or it could be any movie, really. Like, you give them the plot, and then they have to kind of rewrite it together on the show, and then at the end you reveal what movie or whatever it is. Or
Weird.
Or it could be the first person that figures it out wins, or something like that. But you'd have to make the description very, very vague, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're live on YouTube. Hello. It's Matt and Dave. We're here to record some new segments for our podcast, Weird World Weekly. And what we do is we take all these segments and put them together all nice and neat and make them sound awesome. And you guys watching the YouTube video get to see all the mistakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're actually lucky that way.
Yeah. Jury's out.
But you can find the podcast for the show in podcast form at our website, gncasts.com/weird, or just go to gncasts.com and you'll find the show very, very easy. And that's it. You can subscribe to the show there as well, gncasts.com/subscribe. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to record one intro, and then we'll get into the stories. So are you ready, Matt?
Very much so.
All right. Welcome. Hello. Okay, let me start over. Hello and welcome to the show that talks about the paranormal, mythological, mysterious, conspiratorial, unexplained, or anything else that fits. One more time. Hello and welcome to the show that talks about the paranormal, the mythological, mysterious, conspiratorial, unexplained, or anything else that fits into the definition of weird, odd, strange, or unusual. I'm Dave Nelson, and with me as always is Matt Stein, host of Podcast of Terror on the Galactic Network, and Metal MMA Rounds and Breakdowns, which you can find at blazingcariboustudios.com. Hello, Matt.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Do you want to describe real quick what both of your podcasts are about, just like in a couple of sentences?
Yeah. Podcast of Terror is a podcast that focuses on all things scary. We do news segments, and then we generally review a movie. Sometimes we try and do video games when they come out. But yeah, things that scare you. Then Rounds and Breakdowns is a metal and MMA podcast, which covers news from both metal and MMA worlds. And then we do recaps of fights and previews for upcoming fights. And then we also talk about the new music that we've bought. And then each week we focus on one, I don't want to call them local, but an unsigned band. We play a song from an unsigned band as our main event.
Can you say that last part? Because I think I stepped over you.
That's fine. We each week we focus on one band, not necessarily local, but an unsigned band, and play one of their songs as our main event each week.
Sounds fun. All right. So we have scoured the World Wide Web once again to bring you the weirdest of the weird. So without further ado, here we go. And I'm going to do an outro.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to do it for another episode of Weird World Weekly, a Galactic Network podcast. Join us next time for another journey through the paranormal, mythological, mysterious, conspiratorial, and unexplained. Until we meet again, Matt, what do you want to do?
Just keep it weird, Dave.
All right. That part's done. Let's get into the first story.
It's been so long since we've done that. I had to luckily I remembered what it is.
I know. I was worried that you wouldn't. But you did. Because you're awesome.
Thanks, buddy. You are too.
So what do you think about this title, Matt? The woman who can will herself out of her body.
I call shenanigans.
What do you think that means? She can will herself out of her body.
I'm assuming she claims to be able to force an out-of-body experience.
So you don't think it's she actually pulls herself out of her skin?
No, I don't know how one would do that, but no, you're wrong.
This is actually a local story to where I am in Canada. According to a case published in the Frontiers in Human Neuroscience earlier this year, a psychology graduate student at the University of Ottawa claims that she can voluntarily have, you got it right, out-of-body experiences, usually before sleep.
Wait, what? So this only happens right before she goes to sleep?
Well, I'm sure that she can do it anytime, as long as she's, but I think she has to be going to sleep. Like if she was to take a nap and decided, hey, I'm going to have an out-of-body experience while I take this little short cat nap, she could probably do it.
Real quick, I'm just gonna hop out of my skin real quick.
Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. So she began doing it as a child when bored with sleep time at preschool, moving above her body instead of napping. So this is really interesting because it goes on to say that it totally felt normal for her entire life. Like she didn't think that it was weird at all. She thought it was something that everybody did.
I mean, there's now I don't claim to be having out-of-body experiences, but there are times in which if I have a hard time sleeping, what I'll do is like picture myself like leaving my body and like floating around and stuff, and then creating movement. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, and then it create movement, usually rolling forward, and for some reason it like calms me and helps me fall asleep.
That's cool. No, that's I think everybody has their way of falling asleep, and that just kind of sounds more like an auto body.
An auto body. Getting your car fixed.
It sounds more like a out of body experience than what most people do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't consider it an out of body experience. That's just what I do.
Okay, this is how she described her out of body experiences, not auto body experiences. She was able to see herself rotating in the air above her body, lying flat, rolling along with the horizontal plane. She reported sometimes watching herself move from above, but remained aware of her unmoving real body. The participant reported no particular emotions linked to the experience. The University of Ottawa researchers say that this is the first person to be studied to be able to have this type of experience on demand and without any brain abnormalities. On demand, that's kind of like you turn your cable on and you want to watch a movie. That's on demand.
Yes.
But it's not at all like this.
It is, but it isn't. It's a little similar, but absolutely nothing like it at all.
Honey, can we watch an out-of-body experience tonight? It's on channel 1252.
Yeah,
only $4.99.
You win.
Instead of an auto... I almost said it again.
An auto body?
Out of body.
I have auto body experiences every 5,000 miles when I get my oil changed.
Instead of an out-of-body experience, however, the researchers termed it as an extracorporeal experience, in part because it lacks the strong emotions that often go hand in hand with such an experience. To better understand what was going on, the researchers conducted a functional magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, study of her brain. They found that it surprisingly involved a strong deactivation of the visual cortex. Instead, the experience activated the left side of several areas associated with kinesthetic imagery, such as mental representations of bodily movement. Her experience, the scientists wrote, really was a novel one. I wonder if she's like the first evolution of a new species of humans.
Or crazy.
That too. So, do you think, okay, if you were to be able to learn how to do this, would you want to do this?
Maybe. I mean, it kind of depends. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of depends on what the end game is.
That's true. But I mean, just for fun, just for S's and giggles.
S's and giggles. Yeah, probably. I mean, why not? If it's not going to hurt me, it's not like flatliners or stuff gets cray.
So, as long as you don't die, you'll be fine with this.
Yeah, I'm pretty much down to do anything as long as it doesn't kill me or turn me into a drug addict.
That's the perfect way to end that one, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you ready for yours?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I did not find an updated one like you asked because I completely got super busy and forgot.
Okay.
But I did find a recent one where a guy was charged for fabricating a clown sighting, so that could be a nice follow-up.
Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna just real quick edit this. Do the blah 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 stuff. That's the name of our next podcast.
To the
You know, but they don't know. So you give them a synopsis of the story, and they. What's your hard out when you have to be out of here?
7:30.
So you give an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome. Hello. Okay. Let me start over. Hello. Okay.
So if I'm not looking at you and you like hit the playback, I always like freak out. I'm like, holy shit, he's talking to me. Crap, Poopy's talking to me.
Hello and welcome to the show that talks about the. Hello and welcome. Okay.
Keep it weird, Dave.
All right. So, and that's gonna do it for. I'm just gonna separate these things. It's easier to edit later on.
That's fine.
So, and I. Then.
I don't know how one would do that, but no, you're wrong.
This is actually a local.
I don't know how one would do that, but I call shenanigans. It's so long since we. Weird, Dave.
You're awesome. What do you think? All right. Control I, Command I, and that's it. All right. All right. Let's do this thing. Go for it, Matt.
Do it. Dave, have you, by chance, ever been to South Carolina?
I have been to South Carolina, Matt, when I was...
Recently?
No, it's been a while. It was when I was in the Army. This is back in the 80s.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't you dressing up as a clown and, like, going in people's backyards.
I do that here.
I haven't heard about the Canadian clown yet, where you just break into people's houses and offer to clean their kitchen. Because I assume clowns are nicer in Canada, because Canadians are nice.
Reinforce that stereotype. Go ahead.
No, there's nothing wrong with being nice. No, the story I got this week is the South Carolina clown that has been trying to lure children into the woods. It became enough of a situation, we'll call it, that the news and the police had to say, like, don't leave your kids alone at night, and also teach them to not follow a clown into the woods because that's a bad time.
That should be rule number one. Don't follow a clown into the woods.
Well, the times they are a-changing, so there's that. But apparently this started on August 20th near a set of apartments where there was woods on the back where they found the first clown. Caller called the police and said, hey, there's a weird clown in the woods behind my apartment. The next day, a woman filed a report with the sheriff's department in South Carolina explaining that 2 days prior, so we're now on August 19th, her son had, quote-unquote, seen clouds in the woods whispering and making strange noises.
Do they describe the noises that they were making?
No, they don't. But the woman, I'm going to leave it at that, went to investigate herself and observed several clowns in the woods flashing green laser lights, who then ran away into the woods.
That's not typical clown behavior. I call shenanigans on that.
Yeah. No, the clowns don't just shine laser pens around.
No.
The woman's oldest son told the sheriff that he heard chains and banging at the door of their house the same night. And so this is their shit. You have to cut that out.
It's okay. I go through every episode now and edit the crap out of it, so I've become like a serial editor.
Yeah. So the woman's kid, the youngest son, went on to say that tell his mom that there are clowns out in the woods, and they're trying to come and get him. Some had chains, some had knives, some were holding out money, and they said, "Come here, we've got candy." It's pretty bad. But more recently, because this has kind of gone on and on ever since the 20th of August. Never really seeing who it was or figuring out who it was, but there was a guy, a young man in North Carolina. So South Carolina is on the bottom of North Carolina if you're not really good at geography. A man in Winston-Salem reported that a clown was knocking on his window Friday night. So last Friday of us recording this. So it was like the beginning of September. They found out he lied. So they actually, he's in jail now for creating a falsified police report. But it's become enough of a thing that people are now falsifying police reports to be in the news. So there's still no end in sight to the crazy clowns with the money. The candy.
When you were describing what the clowns were holding in the woods, I was so ready for you to say one of them had a seltzer bottle. You know how?
So there was a conversation on Podcast Terror last week because we were talking about the Green Bay clown.
Yeah, no, the similar thing happened in Green Bay, but that was actually a promotional stunt for a movie.
Yes. But our guest was one of my co-hosts on Rounds and Breakdowns was saying, you know what, if I saw a clown in like the middle of the night, he goes, I'd probably hit him. And I said, it'd be better if you just pulled a bottle of seltzer water and just sprayed him in the face. That's that. You know,
this reminds me of a story that we had on an episode of Weird World Weekly a long, long time ago. And I want to say it was down south somewhere where people were leaving meat on porches.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
It kind of has the same vibe, but not really. Just weird, odd like behavior that people are doing that isn't really hurting anybody.
Right. Yeah, it's not hurting anybody, but it's weird. Like, strange. It's like reverse Halloween, but with meat instead of candy, and for no reason.
Why meat? Why meat?
Was it cooked or was it raw?
I don't remember.
I assume it was raw, because who would like cook a steak and then put it on someone's front porch?
And there would be flies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So lesson, kids, don't go out to the woods no matter how much the clown wants you to come.
Don't. Even if he has money.
All right. Random weird fact, Matt. You ready for this?
I'm born ready for this, Dave.
Oh, you think so, huh?
I mean, not.
I may prove you wrong on this. I may prove you wrong on that. There is a 240-page book called the Voynich manuscript. It was said to be written in the early 15th century in a language completely unknown.
Till recently, when linguists realized that it was just a series of emojis. I had to reread that a few times.
All right, that'll work. Hang on. Let me just stop the recording. That was good. I was waiting for you.
I know, and that's why I was like, I didn't know if you were going to like turn it over to me or I was just supposed to read it. And then when there was a huge pause, yeah.
I may prove you wrong on this. I may prove you wrong on that.
Like, strange. Like reverse Halloween.
Yeah. All right. So, lesson, kids, don't go out to the woods. Random. All right. Man, having a wired connection makes a huge difference.
Well, yeah, it does.
It's amazing. It's like a modern miracle of science. Right.
Who would have known?
I know.
So our TV we have and our cable internet are from the same company, Time Warner Cable.
Yeah.
And if I'm on my home network, I can watch TV through a website.
Yeah.
So I tried watching a football game on my computer using the Time Warner TV website, but it won't let me because I'm not on Wi-Fi. Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's super dumb.
Why would that make a difference?
Who freaking knows?
They're highway robbery is what that is.
I know the guy behind us works for Time Warner, so he just laughs because he pays like $15 a month for everything.
You probably just hate him.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent guy.
Just ask him if you can, if you guys can just borrow there.
I already asked him if I could do it. He said if there was a way he could run it over to my house, he would.
Wow.
But because everything's digital now, he can't.
Yeah, I suppose. All right, we're rolling. Let's get back into this. Get back into the thing that we're doing here.
Do the thing.
All right. Photographing the Dead is the title of our next story.
Seems like a bad idea.
I'm not gonna. What'd you say?
Seems like a bad idea.
I always ask you for your opinion as to what you think it is that we're going to talk about, but I'm not going to do it this time because it's too easy.
I mean, I pretty much just gave my opinion. It's a bad idea.
Photographing the dead.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
Do you think they're going to get mad and like come back to life and like become a zombie and try to eat you?
No, I think what's going to happen is someone's actually getting a picture of something and they're going to freak out and be like, what the hell, why did that happen? I went to photograph the dead and I took a picture of the dead. Why would that happen?
Well, the good news is this is not done anymore. It was a thing a while ago back in the day, but nobody really does.
Like, they were taking photographs of dead bodies.
Yes.
I thought they were trying to like take pictures of like ghosts.
No.
Okay.
These actual dead bodies.
Never mind.
Called post-mortem photography, also known as memorial portraiture or a mourning portrait. It was the practice of photographing the recently deceased. These photographs of deceased loved ones were a normal part of American and European culture in the 19th and early 20th centuries. What a weird thing, right?
Yeah. But not weird, I guess.
You know the reason why I brought this was because of a random weird fact we had a few episodes ago. How people remember I said if you saw an old picture from back in the 1800s and it wasn't blurry of a person, they were probably dead. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that kind of brought to mind this because I'd heard about this a while back. So this was commissioned by grieving families. Postmortem photographs not only helped in grieving, but often represented the only visual remembrance of the deceased and were among the family's most precious possessions. So it kind of goes back to the whole photography being a new thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was something that was only done for special occasions. And what's more special than somebody dying? And they said it there, it was a way to memorialize or remember a family member or a friend.
And I guess, yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, now everyone has a camera in their pocket with thousands of pictures of everyone. So if someone were to pass away, you have how many pictures of them? What do you really need a picture of their dead body for?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
we don't really need it anymore. Although I could see some people still doing this in certain cultures or just to be weird. Like, oh, it's the weird family that takes pictures.
Takes pictures of their dead family.
Yeah.
I knew a guy whose dog died, and he like took a picture of the dog surrounded by candles and put it on Facebook.
Why?
He's words that I can't say on this podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, our dog just passed away last week, and I could not imagine that
I'm really sorry to hear that. I don't know. We don't have to get into this in the podcast, but I'm sorry. I don't. Yeah, you know I love dogs, so
Yeah, it sucked. It's like it was like a member of her family no longer with us, and it's this house is like super silent. It sucks. It really sucks. But I don't want to continue down that sad road because I'll cry, then you'll start crying,
Oh,
and
it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't need to see two grown men cry.
no, it does not.
Not tonight.
Postmodern or post-mortem photography was very common in the 19th century when death occurred in the home and was quite an ordinary part of life. See, that's the other reason. It was a dying family member was a lot more common back in the day because there was more infant mortalities. There was more out-of-control diseases. People died at an early age. So what do you call that length of life? What's
The average age?
no, there's another word for it.
I know.
I can't think of it. People died younger. So I think you would see death more in your lifetime. So as photography was a new medium, it is plausible that many post-mortem portraits, especially those of infants and young children, were probably the only photographs ever made of the sitters. The long exposure time made deceased subjects easy to photograph. So that's the other thing. It goes back to my original random weird fact from a few episodes ago. Because the technology to take pictures was so new and kind of crude back then, you had to sit for a very long time to get the exposure.
Yeah, wasn't it like 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, something crazy. So you would see the living humans would be all blurry because they had moved during that time, but the dead people completely still. They had no problem. Do you think this will ever make a comeback, Matt?
No, I hope not.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah, absolutely hope not.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Unless you have a funny way of ending this one.
No, I saw your note for the strange thing. I'm trying to think of something for that.
Okay. I just couldn't think of something, and I kept your name there. Like maybe we'll remember something between the time that I wrote that and the time that we actually recorded it. So I'll think about it too while we're doing your next subject.
Okay.
You ready? Oh,
yeah.
Hang on. Let me. I'm gonna stop this. Move this up. Bam. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. You're on.
Oh, not ready. So, speaking of cameras, since you were really into photographing the dead, I found a fun little story of it's a closed circuit TV footage from a gas station in Peru, and I patiently waited for the website to load. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long. It was really weird. It felt like watching paint dry, waiting for this thing to show up. But it's just like people standing at a gas pump, and then all of a sudden, in the background, you just see like this little object. It looks like it kind of looks like a kid with like a headlamp on, just kind of like walking towards the gas pumps, but like shifting back and forth.
Yeah,
it's weird. And you like the person taking the video of you, like zooms in and all that stuff and points out where it is, but there's people standing outside and they never really acknowledge it, but they like walk over by it. So I had a really hard time trying to figure out what exactly is happening. And there's like a whole lot. It's just this video, and this thing shows up, and like they never really talk about it. Like the people in the video, the people taking the video, never talk. And even if they did, I don't speak Peruvian, whatever they speak there.
Is there sound on this video?
There is. You can like hear the person clicking. That's it.
Okay. I've seen videos like this before. So this was from a closed circuit camera, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
very low res to begin with.
Yeah. So you just kind of see it in the background, wobble into frame. just kind of moves around. So it happened. The they refer to it as a strange creature that's less than a meter high, and it wandered, floating or walking, they weren't sure, through the car park at 3:30 a.m. And then it was later hit by a cargo truck,
Oh, Jesus.
and that's it.
So, okay, the story where you got this from,
Mhm.
did it interview the people that were there on site?
Nope. I mean, it just says the peculiar footage, which has been already viewed almost 1 million times since it was first uploaded on YouTube at the end of last month, shows what looks like a small figure moving towards the right-hand side of the frame along the outside edge of the building's parking lot. Two men standing in the foreground who don't notice the figure until around 1 minute in can be seen walking towards it as it is about to disappear off to the side.
How do they know? How do they know that it was killed later on?
I'm watching the video right now. The guy like zooms in, but I think like you see it moving around, and I think a truck just comes by and hits it. But it says, according to the video's caption, the strange creature or robot less than a meter in height was seen floating or walking through the car park at 3:30 a.m. before later being hit by a cargo truck.
Let me ask you, what do you think it was?
I don't know. It looks about the height of a child, but I feel like if a cargo truck hit a child, it'd be a little more readily available as the outcome.
I don't know. Peru is, not exactly, well, I guess it is modern, but it may not be as modern and as we are here in North America.
That's true.
Maybe it's a more common occurrence that children are just wandering down the street and they get hit by trucks.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Like, it doesn't, in the video, doesn't really look like a kid. Could be an alien. I don't know.
I've seen videos like this before that were like close-ups.
Oh.
I swear to God, they both were very like, they looked like they were definitely not of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were either creatures of mythology or aliens. Like they, no doubt that they were something not, like it was definitely not a human.
Yeah.
There's one where it's a trail cam. And it's just, I mean, those things are freaky to begin with, like the CCTV and trail cams, because they're so low res
Mm-hmm.
that it's not fluid video. So when something does pop up, you're like, oh, it could be anything and it still freaks you out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you add on top of the fact that, oh, that could be a freaking alien or a chupacabra. That's not
Chupacabra?
chupacabra. Yeah, that's it.
Are you sure it's not photoshopped?
I don't know. I want to believe, Matt.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I don't know. I tend to assume that everything has an explanation. You should know that.
What was your description of it early on when you first started talking about it? You said that it looked like a child with something.
Yeah, so it looks like the kid would have like a headlamp on. So like a flashlight that you attach to your forehead. And
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So it looks like he's walking towards it's walking towards the gas station, but it's like shifting, swiveling. There's clearly a light emanating from the head of this thing, but the light like moves as it moves.
Okay. I think I solved the mystery.
What is it?
A very, very tiny miner. Okay.
Can't even argue that one.
I want to stop right there. I came up with that like early on when you first said that, and I just was looking for an opportunity to use it.
That's a good one. I like it.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you think of anything for the random weird fact?
No. The only thing I could think of was something in the vein of Horatio Kane and CSI Miami. And I was trying to see if he had any about planes disappearing or people disappearing. Can't find one.
Nearly 90 different commercial airliners have gone missing in the last 7 decades. And I was thinking of like something along the lines of, and you're complaining about your plane being late. Oh, that's it. Use that one.
Oh,
Funny.
what about? Uh, it would appear these flights had more than just a delay.
Yes, there we go. That's it. More than no, you could say, how about this? I'd call that a serious delay.
Oh,
I'd call that a serious flight delay.
that's what I was thinking. At the word flight. All right.
Those flights are seriously delayed, or something like that. All right, here we go. I just have that music in my head now from CSI Miami.
Yeah.
And he takes his sunglasses off.
If I had sunglasses, I'd do it.
All right. Do you have any nearby? No, forget about it.
No, I don't. I figured if I had them, they'd be in this drawer, and they're not there.
All right. Here is your random weird fact. You holding on to something, Matt?
Tightly.
Okay. Are you mentally and physically prepared?
Very much so.
Okay, here we go. Nearly 90 different commercial airliners have gone missing in the last 7 decades.
Sounds to me like these flights had more than just a delay.
Okay. All right. That'll work. That'll work. All right. Move that bad boy up there. Bada boom, bada bang. All right. And remind me that we need to record an outro for the stories saying, if you have feedback on this story, email weird@gncast.com. We'll do
Okay.
that. We'll do that at the very end one.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Have you ever been creeped out by going down a highway at night, Matt?
Never. I'm kidding. Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay. Is there a particular one like that you've been down a few times that it kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies every time?
Anything north of Highway 29 in Wisconsin at night.
Okay.
Actually, even Highway 29 at night, which runs east to west across the entire state.
Yeah.
But if you're not familiar with the north side of the state of Wisconsin, it's just woods.
Yeah. So there could be anything out there.
Literally anything.
Maybe even ghosts?
I thought you were going to say bears, but yeah, probably ghosts.
Ghost bears.
Ghost bears. Those are the meanest kind.
All right. So I found during search for the podcast, I found a Wikipedia article that lists a number of haunted roads from around the world. So here's a few that I found interesting. And there were a couple in Wisconsin, but we had already talked about them during an episode of Weird World Weekly. So I couldn't include them on this one. So the first one is Clinton Road in West Milford, Passaic County, New Jersey. It's the subject of local folklore that includes alleged sightings of ghosts, strange creatures, and gatherings of witches and Satanists. Satan? Supposedly, if you go to one of the bridges at the reservoir and throw a penny into the water, within a minute it will be thrown back to or at you by the ghost of a boy who drowned while swimming.
Dun, dun,
Or
dun.
fallen in while he was sitting on the edge of the bridge.
Dun, dun, dun.
In some tellings, an apparition is seen. In others, the ghost pushes the teller into the water if he or she looks over the side of the bridge in order to save him.
Just don't do it.
I think in the episode where we were talking about the ghost highway or a ghost road, I think I had mentioned that there was a road in South Dakota when I lived there. It's still there, but it was known for a story that if you were go down the road one way, you would count a certain amount of street or roads, like crossroads. But if you would go down the other way, like back the opposite direction, you'd count like one fewer or one more. And we did that one night, and sure enough, it worked.
Are you sure you didn't just miss one?
No, I think we actually went down it twice, and both times the number was different. So it's not a ghost, but it's still a weird thing, right?
Yeah, but I feel like there's an explanation.
I'm
There
sure
has to be.
it was fun for us, though.
Oh, yeah, I would have done the same thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't have. I support your decision.
Thank you. Your support means a lot to me.
I'm glad.
Mount Misery Road and Sweet Hollow Road in Huntington, New York are both subjects of local folklore, including but not limited to tales of Mary's grave, supposedly located on a cemetery on Sweet Hollow Road, a ghostly police officer with the back of his head missing, and ghosts from a burned down mental asylum. I'd be worried about the ghostly police officer.
You want ghost papers?
Just just giving out tickets randomly, willy-nilly. And what if he pulls you over more than once? Because he's a ghost, right?
Yeah. You saying that his ghost memory sucks in his ghost age?
Yes.
That might be ghost racist.
It has it has it has something to do with the missing back of his head, I think. He's forgetting things.
Hmm.
All right. The next one on this list is, according to legend, phantom hitchhikers have been reported since the 1950s on the A38 road between Wellington and Taunton in Somerset. That's in the UK.
Hmm.
One tale holds that in 1958, a driver named Harry, or Harold in some tellings, Unsworth. That's a very British name. Unsworth.
Come here, Answorth.
Harry Unsworth. That one's for you, Daryl. Saw a hitchhiker he'd given a ride to earlier reappear miles down the road from where he dropped him off. Oh! Do yourself a favor one time. Go onto YouTube and type in ghost road, or road ghost or ghost roads. You'll find a bunch of videos of people, footage of going down the road and seeing weird crap. It's pretty amazing, actually. All right, one more. A75 road, a major road in Scotland from Annan to Gretna Green, has been called Scotland's most haunted road by some authors. According to one story, in 1957, a truck driver swerved to avoid a couple walking in the road, but when he stopped to investigate, the pair had vanished. Other versions of the stories tell of a couple or a group of friends driving down the road at night and are constantly plagued and harassed by shadow figures, from an elderly woman, the back end of a semi-truck that they nearly hit before braking, only for it to disappear. So, say you're driving down the road, all of a sudden this semi-truck comes out of nowhere, you stop, brake, and then it just disappears. Holy crap. That would be freaky.
That would not be a good time.
No. All right, so there you go. So are there any besides the ones that we've talked about on previous episodes of Weird World Weekly, have you ever heard of any haunted roads near where you live or in Wisconsin somewhere?
Not specific roads.
There's certain, but you know of like landmarks that are known to be haunted, though, right?
Yeah, there was the tree in Sheboygan that I can't remember what it was called, but apparently what happened was a girl on her way to prom or something hit the tree and she flew through the windshield and her face hit the tree. And as a result, there was like this moss that grew in the shape of a skull, and it was the only place that it ever grew anywhere in the world was on this one tree in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
It
was probably false. Looked more like spray paint than moss, but there was that.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
All right. How should we end this one? Got a funny to end this one with?
I got nothing.
Something about speeding. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we'll just end it there. I'll figure out. I mean, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be funny every time, right?
No, I agree.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, one more, your story, then the quick, and then we're out. Quickie, and then we're out.
Give me a second. I'm about to sneeze, I think.
All right. Liar.
All right. I guess I'm not sneezing.
You are a big fat liar, is what you are.
Sorry, buddy.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Dave, have you ever read the Book of Exodus in the Bible?
Yes, I have, and it freaks me out every time, especially when they talk about the number of the beast and all that jazz.
Iron Maiden talks about the number of the beast. Are you scared of them too?
Iron Maiden, yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I guess if you have any travel plans to Russia planned, you should probably cancel them because it appears there's some Exodus-style things happening in Russia.
It's all Putin.
It's Vladimir Satan. There is a river in Russia. I can't say it. It's got a lot of letters, a couple Z's, and 14 consonants in it.
And those fake alphabet, those fake letters that they say are real but aren't.
Yeah, no, that one looks like a pepperoni pizza. That's not a letter. The Daldecan, I'm sure it's not pronounced like that, but it turned a shade of red that could only be considered blood red recently. There's pictures all over the interwebs of it, but it's red, like it looks like it looks like blood. The river runs near the Arctic city of Norilsk. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of pictures that came up. The one posted in the story is on Twitter, and it's just like a road and some trees. It's just this blood red river. They're suggesting the discoloration could be due to the iron ore in the rocks, while others place the blame on a possible broken pipeline outside of the nearby metallurgical factory.
Okay.
And they're saying that periodically these pipes break and the solutions spill and get into the river, and that's why it changes the color. But the factory is saying that there is no chemical spill that has taken place.
Ooh. It's Ghost Putin.
The ghost of the living Vladimir Putin?
Yes. He's so powerful that he already has a ghost.
All right. You're so evil. There's a ghost of you, and you're still alive.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be more worried that it's just something that happens on a regular basis, because they're like, oh, the metallurgic factory or whatever, that, it causes the river to change color every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Or the fact that the end of the world is coming.
Probably.
I'm just waiting for the what was it in Exodus? You had to paint. You had to have the color on your door.
Yeah, Metallica wrote a song about it. It's they take the firstborn son. The Passover.
Yeah, but who took the firstborn son? It was something.
Pharaoh?
No, it was some. Anyway,
the ghost of Christmas past.
Damn Santa Claus.
Just all right.
All right, that's if you don't have anything more to say, that's the perfect answer.
Yeah, no, I just want to answer this question though.
Okay. It's like the angel of death.
You couldn't think of the angel of death?
Couldn't think that's where my brain is.
It's the monarch of the kingdom of the dead. Infamous Butcher, the angel of death. Those are Slayer lyrics.
Okay. Angel of death.
Yep.
So it's not Santa Claus.
It's not. No. The Santa Claus is not the angel of death.
Okay. I think we got some good stuff there. All right. All right. You feel satisfied with that? Or do you
Yeah.
want to add anything?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a pretty short story,
Okay.
but I thought it was worth bringing up,
No.
especially since no one would cop to the thing.
All right. Random weird fact. In 1975, odd and anxious behaviors of dogs and other animals led to the evacuation of a city who hours later experienced a 7.3 magnitude earthquake. When my dog, I got it. Here you go, Matt. And my dog goes or behaves like that. Behaves like that. Just
He just has to poop.
yeah, he's just telling me he has to poop. Poop is funnier than pee, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You comfortable with that one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Well, this is I'm literally putting words in your mouth, but if you can think of anything funnier, go for it.
No, the only thing that came to mind was like Fido was not a good boy on this day.
Oh, okay.
But this one's way better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, random weird fact. In 1975, odd and anxious behaviors of dogs and other animals led to the evacuation of a city who hours later experienced a 7.3 magnitude earthquake.
You know, when my dogs act like that, they're just trying to tell me that they got to take a poop.
So you shouldn't leave the room.
Nope. They'll poop on the floor.
All right, cool. All right, hang on. Let me put this up there, and then we'll do a quick. Leave us feedback. All right. If you want to leave us feedback on these, okay. If you want to leave,
Sorry.
if you have anything to say about the story that we just talked about,
Just to talk about.
if you want to say anything that you, if what, Matt, what? If you have any,
outro.
if you have any feedback or want to say anything about the story that we just talked about, we have feedback stuff. We have ways for you to leave feedback. Oh God,
Multiple paper forms.
In triplicate.
You thought the doctor had a lot of paperwork. Wait till you fill out our contact form.
Yeah, background check and everything.
3 forms of ID, your social security number, bucket of gravy.
Mother's maiden name.
You're going to say mother's breast milk.
Yes, mother's breast milk.
We have different wavelengths.
If you have any thoughts on the story that we just talked about, leave us feedback by emailing weird@gncasts.com. That's GNCASTS.com. Weird@gncasts.com. You can call our voicemail number. It's 805-328-3966. Tweet at us, Facebook at us, or just leave a comment on the website, gncasts.com/weird. All right, perfect. And that's it, man. We're done.
Sweet.
What time is it?
7:10.
You got 20 minutes to spare.
I do. Probably have to go get cookies for my wife. Because this is my life now.
Well, that's the life of a family man, of a married family man.
I just want to smoke crack and worship Satan. I gotta go buy cookies. I'm kidding.
Both viable choices.
Man, I don't know which one I'd rather do.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on and doing this. I'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can do it. Can you send Brandon